Hello there everybody, welcome back to another episode of Try New Things, where today we're going to be doing yet another Christmas crafty woodworking thing. So this idea, like most good ideas, comes from my wife, and this one's going to be kind of special because only half the work I'm doing, the other half she's going to do. But what she has posed to me is a challenge to put together some candy cane countdown calendars that you hang on the wall, and every day as you get from December 1st to Christmas Eve, you take a candy cane off the countdown. So she did send me a picture. Today what I got to do is cut up the boards and get them milled up, and then I'm going to turn them over to her, and she is going to do the painting. So I get the easy part, she gets the hard part. Hang in there, we'll see how they turn out. So it's a fairly nice November day here today, and what you're looking at is a nice old barn board that I picked up a long time ago, one of many, and today is when I figure out what I'm going to do with it. So I'm going to cut out some sizes a little bit over length, mill them down nice and smooth, and get them ready for my wife Kim to do her little painting thing, and then when she's done I will drill the holes that are necessary for the candy canes. So here's a little bit of before and after. The one on the left has not gone through the planer, and the one on the right has. So our job now is half done for today. The next thing I gotta do is cut these out to size. I think it's 21 by 9 is the size I'm going for. Then we'll take them back home, let my wife Kim do her little painting, and then we'll bring them back, and after that I gotta drill some holes. But I don't want to drill holes before I know where I need to drill the holes. You'll see that in a little bit, but for now, just gonna trim these up, then cut them to size. There were a lot of nail holes, knots, and some little cracks. So I've been generous with the wood filler. When that all dries up, I'll come back and sand it. I'm assuming the couple big knots I'll have to do twice. But we're getting closer. My wife did an absolutely fantastic job painting these up, don't you think? So we've got 4 old 100-year-old barn boards prepped and painted for our candy cane countdown, but the burden is back on me now, and the next step is to drill holes under each one of these numbers to put in our candy canes. Now she did use a stencil for this, and I'll put a link in the description below on Amazon where we picked it up. But yeah, she did a fantastic job. Alright, this is where I'm at. So you can see in this board, I've got 2 holes. I've got a small hole and a bigger hole. My candy cane will fit in the small hole. It'll also obviously fit in the big hole. The challenge is, which should have been self-evident, is we want to hang our candy cane through that hole. And if you're going through a relatively thick piece of wood, which my signs are, you're actually putting a curve through a straight tube, and the longer that tube is, the bigger the hole has to be, because you can't curl your cane. So what am I going to do about that? I don't know the answer yet, but I'm thinking. I could go with a big hole. All right, so here's what I've come up with. Hopefully it's going to work. We'll do a test first. But in my router table, I've got a little spade bit. And my plan is to make a channel on each side of a piece of wood. And that way, I can get away with a smaller hole drilled through the board. Let's see how this is going to work and look. So here's a cross section of what I ended up with. Hopefully you can see that. Now to put a smaller hole in it and see if the candy cane will go through. So now we've got a smaller hole through our channel. Take my candy cane, and it doesn't quite fit through yet. Good idea in theory. In practice, it didn't work. Time for another plan. All right, through some trial and error, I think I've got the solution. But first of all, I also have the problem. The problem is a 3/4 inch board will not work with standard candy canes. What you really need is a 3/8 inch or 1/4 inch, 3/8 work, and then you can use a 3/8 inch hole. This is 1/2 inch hole. Here's a 3/8 hole, and now my candy cane fits perfect. But I used a 1/2 inch board. I don't know if that's going to show up, but I used my dado stack to thin it to a point where it works. So, since my wife's already painted all those boards and did a lovely job, what I've got to do is dado out the back of those signs. It's kind of a shame, but that's what we have to do. So if you're making this yourself, use a 3/8 inch board would be my recommendation. So using some masking tape, I've marked out the location of each of the holes. Now to take it over to the drill press, drill it out, and cross my fingers, it's all going to work out. So there's 24 holes drilled. Let's go clean it up and see how it looks. Well, I think it turned out all right. I got to touch it up with a little bit of sandpaper. Again, we had to dado out the back. But the big test is, will it hold a candy cane? And the answer to that question is, yes, it will. So now all we got to do is 3 more. So I just got done doing a clear coat on these. Time to take them back to my lovely wife to put on the ribbons and the rope to hang it with. So we're back at the house, and this is what the candy cane countdown calendar looks like hanging on our wall. 24 peppermint candy canes through the holes we made. Put a little bow on top. Yeah, looking pretty good. But anyway, that's going to bring another episode of Try New Things to an end. If you got any questions or comments about this episode or anything at all, please leave in the description below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.